I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. A right-wing extremist traitor and felon named Jack Teixeira was arrested for using his position within the National Guard to steal classified information. He'd take photographs of it that he was able to get his hands on, and then he would publish it on an internet app called Discord, where he created a group filled with little boys. And he wanted to impress these little boys, these children, with the information he was able to steal. And he called himself OG. And when they weren't interested in some of the initial information that he was giving them, and they just wanted to focus on all of the racist and anti-Semitic memes that were being shared in this group he had created, he went back and got even more highly classified information. Well, fortunately, this traitor was arrested, and in normal times, we should all as a country say this conduct is bad. This individual is a traitor, right? Well, we're not living in normal times. The Republican Party is now the MAGA Republican Party. They no longer support democracy. They no longer support the United States of America. They support Putin. They support Russia. They support our enemies. Well, now one of the things that we have to contend with is the fact that from within you have a major political party in the United States like the MAGA Republicans, bolstered by their propaganda arms like Fox and OAN and Newsmax, which spew this utter filth, this disinformation, this anti-American hatred that they spew, and they spew it to try to crush our country from within. There's no other way to say it. So right after Jack Teixeira was arrested, this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene put out on Twitter. She writes, Jake Teixeira is white male Christian and anti-war. So first up, she has no clue. His name is Jack Teixeira. It's not Jake Teixeira. And the fact that he is white, male, and Christian and anti-war, what does that have to do with the fact that he stole classified information, put it in a Discord server filled with little boys to impress these little boys with that and the racist memes that he would spread? I'll read more of what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. She goes, that makes him an enemy to the Biden regime. And he told the truth about troops being on the ground in Ukraine and a lot more. Ask yourself, who is the real enemy? A young, low-level National Guardsman or the administration that is waging war in Ukraine, a non-NATO nation against nuclear Russia without war powers? How despicable can you get? This is the radicalization of the MAGA Republican Party. It is so deeply disappointing and distressing to see a once fairly proud party in the GOP essentially turn into complete puppets of Vladimir Putin. I mean, how dare you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, say that the Biden administration is the enemy? The Biden administration is focusing on things each and every day, like how to help Americans get more jobs and how to make sure Americans can get better wages and how to protect Social Security and Medicare. And let's bring more manufacturing jobs and bring infrastructure jobs back to the United States. And yes, we support our allies abroad. The United States of America promotes democracy abroad. And you know who is an enemy of the United States? Vladimir Putin. Do you know how we know he is an enemy? Because he says so. Do you know what Vladimir Putin wants to do? He wants to topple democracies abroad and destroy the United States of America. It's not just that we say that he's an enemy. His intentions are to kill Americans. So stop with this Putin propaganda. It is utterly asinine and traitorous to see this. And then she leans into again, oh, well, he's a white male Christian. That's the issue here. So because he's a white male Christian, that therefore this individual, Jack Teixeira, can do no wrong. And that's what makes him an enemy of the Biden administration. No, he stole documents. He stole classified records and put them on a Discord server to impress little boys with that and racist memes. Yeah, he is a real groomer. I know you talk about groomers. That's what was going on in that Discord chat. It is utterly disgusting. It is utterly traitorous. And this is the type of person you support. And I reflect on this. You know, when I think about this and I go, You got the MAGA Republicans now rallying around Jack Teixeira. But does that surprise you? These are the same people who are rallying around the January 6th insurrectionists. So much so that the modern day Republican Party sent a congressional delegation to go hang out and high five the January 6th terrorists who are in prison in Washington, D.C., and they call them political prisoners. And you know what they also do? They make songs together. You've got the cult leader of the modern day Republican Party, the MAGA Republican Party, and Republican leaders making songs with the January 6th insurrectionists who they call the J6th Choir. And they put it out. They put the music out. They put albums out together. That is how deranged the modern day Republican Party is. So yes, the party that sings songs with the J6 Choir, the party that is essentially pro-pandemic. They spread these ridiculous conspiracies about the pandemic. They lie about the dangers caused by the pandemic. Yeah, when you're pro-insurrection, when you're against free and fair elections, when you spread disinformation about the pandemic that kills millions of people, does it actually surprise me that you would go and support Jack Teixeira, and then to add to your incompetence that you would call him Jake? Because you don't even know what the heck it is that you are talking about. And then you use Jack Teixeira, who you call Jake, as a pivot point to say we should be forging peace in Ukraine, not funding war, and getting swindled by Zelensky and his cronies. Getting swindled by Zelensky and his cronies with this fake photograph of money falling from the ceiling. I mean, President Zelensky is one of the bravest people in the history of mankind for what he has done, for what he has stood up for. And when you go, oh, Zelensky and his cronies, I mean, how dare these despicable MAGA Republicans? And then she has this whole thread where she goes, the Biden admin and Pentagon have been caught lying about the war they are funding and fighting against Russia and Ukraine, but they are in full spin mode, blaming low-level 21-year-old National Guardsman Jake Teixeira while they are ginning up full government censorship. And they always go there, ginning up full government censorship. And the language that they use, it is all projection at the end of the day. What you have, what MAGA Republicans want to create, is this dystopian, big, fascist, culty, weirdo, Trumpy, MAGA government. That's what they want to do, where you only have Fox and where you have governors and leaders who attack corporations if they support equality, if they support things like we should treat people with dignity and compassion and humanity. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene and all the right-wingers, they keep posting, Congress must evaluate whistleblower protections, they say, for Jack Teixeira. And then how does this funnel next? Well, then you get Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson, does a whole segment on it. And Tucker Carlson basically says, what is happening, he calls him a leaker. What's happening to this leaker, Jack Teixeira, is what happens in a national security state regime. Here, play this clip.
So what's happening to this leaker now is what happens to anyone who contradicts the national security state and their obedient servants in the media. You go to prison so the media can continue to tell you lies.
And then who Tucker Carlson said actually committed crimes, who Tucker Carlson says should be arrested. Who do you think Tucker Carlson would say? Oh, the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. That's who Tucker Carlson says should really be arrested here. Here, play this clip.
That was a lie. He knew it was when he said it, but he repeated it in congressional testimony. That is a crime. But Lloyd Austin has not been arrested for committing that crime. Instead, the only man who has been taken into custody, or likely ever will be, is a 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guardsman who leaked the slides that showed that Lloyd Austin was lying. He revealed the crimes, therefore he's the criminal. That's how Washington works. Telling the truth is the only real sin.
And that right there is the modern day MAGA Republican Party for you. And we have to call it out. We have to show you just how traitorous they are. and we're not going to gaslight you and pretend that that is normal. There's numerous other clips of Tucker that I could play for you where he's all pro Jack Teixeira and he's all leaning into this shows the Biden regime this and the Biden regime that. No, y'all support a cult leader named Donald Trump, a cult leader who is a Putin puppet, somebody who has disgraced and humiliated our great country. And the pro-democracy community of Americans who are far bigger than the 20% of you cult members or the 25% of you cult members, we see through your disgusting tactics like that, and we are calling out your disgusting tactics, okay? We are not going to live in a country of Marjorie Taylor Greenes and Donald Trumps and Tuckers. America is better than that. Our Constitution, our great country that we love is going to hold up, and we are not going to stand for the gaslighting by large media networks who are like, oh, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene is just a conservative. They put Marjorie Taylor Greene on the Homeland Security Committee and gave her access to some of our most highest classified documents. You know why? Because for MAGA Republicans, it's all a game. It's all a joke. It's all a fascist performance. But you know what? Like, you know, they go, oh, we're pro-life, we're pro-life, we're pro-life. You're not pro-life, okay? You are a death cult in every aspect. Freedom this, freedom that. No, you hate people's freedoms. You want government to control people. You want to use the powers of your own form of big government to take away people's choices. That is what you do each and every day. And the disgusting and despicable strain of fascism and idiocracy and incompetence that you stand for, we will call that out here on the MeidasTouch Network. I'm Ben Meiselas. Thank you all for watching. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. And also, if you can, if you want to support this network and fund and help fund it, go to patreon.com/MeidasTouch. No worries if you can. patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Wherever you get your audio podcast as well, you can search for MeidasTouch Podcast. All right, hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm Ben Meiselas. Have a great day.
The best part of waking up? MAGA Tears in my cup. Check out the new MAGA Tears mug available now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com. It's 100% union made right here in the USA. I know I'm not tired of winning yet. How about you? Get yours today.